Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fitter Me series. We're back with flexibility workout number 2, and today we're focusing on everything from your hips on down. So what I suggest you grab if you have them available to you, Jonathan's going to be using a balance pad as essentially a knee cushion. Not essentially, it's going to be a knee cushion. So if you got a pillow, that will work just fine, like maybe a small one. If you might need it. I'm not going to be using one, so you can certainly do it without, just depending on your surface. He's also going to be using a resistance band. I have a resistance band as well that's going to help us deepen our hamstring stretches just a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with some mobility work just to get the hips working, get the hamstrings warmed up before we start getting into all this stretching. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do some high knee marching, all right? Just nice and slow. This is not a fast move. This is just bring the knees up as high as you can and march it out a little bit with me. Here we go. All right. Good. Drive those knees all the way up. We're getting the glutes woken up here, getting some blood flowing down into the lower part of our body. Now, a lot of you that may have jobs that require you to either sit all day or even stand all day, to be quite honest, both of those jobs involve a repetitive use of the same muscles, right? And especially the seated position seated position jobs are gonna involve a lot of glute activation and hamstring activation. You don't really think of it while you're sitting there, but those muscles are engaged when your legs are in this position. So we've got a lot of work to do to loosen these guys up. All right, next on the agenda, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through this series all on the right side, and then we'll do it all over again and get everything on the left side. So the first thing, if you wanna be near a wall, by the way, if you're gonna need some help with like balance or whatever, find a wall to stabilize yourself. We're gonna do it without a wall, unless you wanna grab one of the bars there. All right, so here we go. Right side is up first, so we're gonna be swinging your hip forwards and backwards. So just swing that leg, keep the knee nice and straight. Get that leg up as high as you can. Feel a stretch. We're stretching out, mobilizing the hamstrings here, as well as getting some glute activation on the back side. Good. Forwards and backwards. Give me a couple more here. 2 and 1 more. Forwards and backwards. Excellent. Now we're going to do some hip openers. We're going to draw a knee circle here. So big old rainbow arc with your knee. And then bring it back. Draw an arc and bring it back. Good. Be sure to draw that belly button into your spine, all right, to keep your balance, but also to protect your lower back as we're going through these moves. Good. And back. Give me a couple more of these. Excellent. And one more while we're here. Great. Now we're gonna take that right foot and we're gonna draw some circles and do some ankle work. Ready? So up on one foot here, we're gonna go counterclockwise. 2, 3, 4. Draw the biggest circle you can. 6. Really stretch it out. 8, 9, 10. Now we go clockwise for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, squeeze the opposite glute to help with that balance. 8, 9, and 10. While we are here, I want you to take that right leg. We're gonna press it backwards like this, all right? And then you're gonna tuck your toe under. So point that toe, tuck it under like this, all right? And what this is gonna do is stretch out that muscle on the front of your shin called the anterior tibialis. All right, we're gonna stretch out that muscle. That one oftentimes gets very tight, and it is a strange one to stretch. And this is one of the best stretches I have found for it. All right, really tuck that toe under, press it into the ground. There you go. Woo. Make sure you're breathing through these stretches. All right, and pick up your foot for me, and we're gonna stretch out our quads. If you need something to hold on to, feel free to grab a wall. All right, as you are stretching your quads, if you struggle to feel a stretch in your quads, because perhaps they're already pretty loose, I challenge you to contract the muscles in the back of your legs. So squeeze your right glute, squeeze your right hamstrings, and I guarantee you, you will feel a stretch in your quads. All right, activating the opposite muscle will help deepen that stretch. Woo! All right. We're about to switch over to the other side. We're finding some balance gear over here. All right, ready? We are on the left side now, so you might want that on your right side. All right, here we go. Ready? We're gonna start back with these hip swings. So ready? Forwards and back. As high as you can to feel that in your hamstring. This is waking up the back of the leg. We were getting some quad action when we were doing the high marching. Now we're getting the hammies and the glutes. Good. We'll be coming down and getting the calves in a little bit. Good. Give me 2 more. And last one here. And back. And now let's go into some hip openers. Ready? We're going to draw some circles. Give me a big old arc there for 1. And back. And out. And back. Excellent. Keep it up. Here we go. And back. Really get these hips warmed up. And back. And out. Here we go. Out. 2 to go for me. 2 more. And a 1. And a 2. All right, now let's get into some ankle circles with this left side. Ready? We're gonna go clockwise first this time, the interior rotation of the foot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw that belly button in, help your balance. 8, 9, and 10. And back the other direction for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're gonna get that anterior tibialis on this side, so point your toe, press the top of your foot down into your mat, and feel that stretch up in front of your shin. If that muscle does start cramping on you, it very clearly does need some stretching. Just shake it out, right? And then give it another stretch. And then I would recommend doing this much more often if that is giving you some issues. All right, let's get into the glute now. So we're gonna pick up that foot. Whoop. Hello there, balance. All right, and squeeze the back side of that leg to get a deeper stretch here. Pull up on your foot and stretch out the front side of the leg here. Good, breathe through these stretches. Awesome job. All right, we're gonna put that leg down gently. Now, if you have a solid downward facing dog, I'm gonna have you come down into that yoga position right now. All right, if you are not comfortable doing a downward facing dog, I'm gonna show you a modification right now. You're gonna find yourself a wall. All right, I'm gonna do it on the fireplace mantle here. You're going to bring your feet as far away from the wall as you comfortably can without like falling over or anything. So when we start doing our pedaling downward in downward dog, you're gonna do your pedaling right here. And when we go to do our stretch, you're gonna do your stretch right from here. All right, you're just gonna basically do a high lunge and press back. And this is gonna be stretching out your calf muscle. So you're gonna wanna do this against the wall or down on the floor.
Probably there.
All right, so let's trade places. You can go there and I will come here. All right, so if you're doing the wall option, you're gonna do what Jonathan's doing. You're gonna press your feet back away from you. I'm gonna come into downward facing dog here, and you're going to pedal. Bring up one heel, and then bring up the other. Stretch the opposite heel down towards the ground. If you are in downward facing dog with me, I want you to make sure that your head is right in between your elbows, and that you have a nice straight line going from your wrists basically all the way to your hips. Good, give me a couple more pedals here. And now I want you to press your left heel down and hold it. Your right heel is up nice and high. We're stretching back through that left calf, excuse me. Press that heel down as close to the ground as you can. Really feel that stretch. Excellent. Do the other side now. Press that right side down into the ground.
Reminder. Put the bed out.
Alexa's giving us reminders. All right. Good. Press, press. We got about one more breath here. All right. If you are on your mat, you can come down to the mat with me. All right. If you are standing, come on down to the mat with me. We're going to come down to a kneeling position. This is where you're going to want to get that balance pad or a pillow or something like that. We are going to come from this kneeling position. You're going to bring one knee up. All right. So you're going to have one up and one down. The balance pad being for the one that's on the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to lean over that front leg and come back. Lean into that front leg and come back. We're going to do it for 5. Here's for 3 and 4. And on the 5th one, we are going to hold and bring it out for 5 and hold. This stretch right here is getting right down here on the inside of that hip joint. All right, it is getting down into these little muscles called the psoas and the iliacus. And if you want to deepen this stretch, you can bring your hands down to the floor. Or if you want to multitask and you have a pigeon pose in your repertoire today, you can come down into pigeon and stretch the psoas and also open up that hip at the same time. So you're going to just stay in that lean there and stretch out the front of your hip. And then we're going to bring it up and to the other side, all right? So now the left knee is going to be down, the right knee is going to be forward, and we're going to lean. Here we go, and in for 1, and 2, and 3. Good, bringing the toes, or the knee rather, straight out over the toes for 4, and on 5, we're going to hold. Here we go, out for 5. Option to stay here, bring it down to the floor for a deeper stretch, or walk your foot over to the opposite edge of the mat and come down into pigeon and stretch out all the things, getting this hip complex wide and open. Good, 3, 2, and 1. From where you are, you can go ahead and come down to a seated position. And we're going to get a little bit of hamstring action here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit with one leg facing outward or stretched outwards, the other one bent inwards here. And we're going to come down now. You can use a resistance band if you'd like here to help you get a deeper stretch. I'm just going to loop it around my foot like this. And then I'm going to help myself get a deeper stretch. If you want, you can just come down here. And if that's enough for you, fantastic. Go ahead and do it that way. If you want to use a resistance band to be able to get a little bit deeper into that stretch, I encourage you to do so. All right, and let's hold here. Don't forget to breathe. Good. All right, let's switch sides. So now my right side is going out, the left side's tucked in. I'm going to use my band here to deepen the stretch and hinge forward. Stretching is one of those things where you may not have a ton of flexibility at the moment, but that's okay because the more you do it, the more flexibility you will gain. The longer your muscles will become. It is not something that happens overnight. It does take consistency, just like everything else. So I encourage you to add these flexibility videos into your workout routines during the week. Maybe replace one day with a flexibility routine. Or you could even do yoga, also gets into all this flexibility stuff as well, so it will check that box. All right, now I want both legs out in front of you. We're gonna do the same thing we just did, except with both feet at the same time, which you will discover, if you don't already know, is infinitely harder. All right, so you're gonna have both feet, use your resistance band if you've got one. You can use a towel if you'd like. If you don't have a resistance band or a yoga strap, if you've got one of those, and you're just going to pull yourself forwards as far as you can. Keep those knees nice and straight, all right? We don't want them bent upwards because then you're not getting a stretch on those hamstrings as much. And just come down as deeply as you are able. And breathe. Good. All right. Now, shake those knees out. Shake them out, all right? And I want you to bring your right knee, up to your chest, and you're just gonna give that knee some love. Hug on that leg. You're gonna feel this stretch a little bit into your glute, depending on how tight you are. If you are not feeling this very tightly, you can always bring up your other knee and press into it a little bit, and that may help you to feel that stretch a little bit more into your glutes, all right? Hold here for a breath, and then we're gonna switch sides. All right, let's grab the other side. So give that left knee some love now. Feel free to bring up that right leg if you need to get deeper into that stretch. Good. All right, here we go. We are gonna go ahead, unfold yourself there, and we're gonna come into what is commonly referred to as the butterfly position, all right? Put your feet wherever they are comfortable, all right? And what I want you to do here is we are going to gently press down to as far as you can and bring it back up. Press down and up, and down and up. Here's for 4. And on 5, we're going to press down and leave it down. If this is enough to where you feel this stretch on those inner thighs, then stop here. If you want to come forward, if you need a little bit more of a stretch, you can lean forward, hinge forward, try to keep your back nice and straight as you forward fold here. You can place a yoga block in front of you if you would like to have something to rest on down here. And now we're just gonna hold in this position and stretch out those inner thighs, and this really gets into those hips as well. We've got one more stretch that we're gonna do after this one. So you're almost done, guys. All right. As you breathe, try to deepen the stretch just a little bit. Come down just a little bit lower. All right, come up out of that stretch, and I invite you to come down onto your mat with me. We're gonna do one more round of hip stretches from the floor here. All right, I want you to take your right foot and cross it up over your left knee, all right? And then what we're gonna do is you're gonna thread your right hand through the hole in between your legs here, and the left hand is going to come around the outside, and your goal is to grab in front of your shin. If you don't quite have that flexibility right now, you can come behind your hamstring. You can even put your leg up straight if you would like, but go ahead and pick up that left leg and stretch out the hip up in the right side. Here we go. This is also a great stretch that can be done on a wall. If you put your foot up against a wall, you can really press into it and get some extra flexibility here. Now what I want you to do is take this left side and drop that left leg out to the outside of your body just a little bit. Drop it off to the left just a little bit. And what you're gonna feel is that stretch completely change into the glute medius on the outside of that right leg. Good, in just a moment, we're gonna switch sides and repeat this on the left side, and then we will have completed our flexibility workout for today. All right, gently unfold your legs, bring it down to the ground, shake it out a sec if you need to, all right? And then plant that right foot, Cross the left knee up and over. Pick up your foot and hug that shin. Pull that knee in as tight as you are able. Really stretch out that left hip area, left glute. Keep breathing. Now I invite you to drop your right knee off to the right just a little bit. Bring it out at an angle, shift the stretch. And if you're struggling to maintain your balance on that as you bring your right knee outwards, you can go ahead and rest that elbow on the ground to help you maintain your balance and keep that stretch going. Give me one more good breath here in this position. And gently unfold. Stretch those legs out for a moment. Wiggle the knees. All right, I invite you to come back up to a seated position, and we have finished round 2 of flexibility and mobility. If you did both of those videos, you got a full body flexibility mobility routine, and you probably feel nice and loose and ready to go. I hope you enjoyed these flexibility workouts, and thank you for training with us. See you next time. Bye.